Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Al, host of Guys Talking Sports. This time I got some guests with me. I got my man Joel and my man Ace along for the ride. What's going on, fellas? Say hi to everybody out there.
Hello, everyone in cyber world.
You know what's going on? What's going on out here in North Carolina for work, but hailing from Maryland?
All right, we're just gonna get started. Basically, we're gonna talk about everything that's going on in sports today, this week. So I guess we're gonna start off with, I guess, the NBA playoffs. Right now, it's game three is coming up. The series is tied 1-1. I have a question for you guys, and I guess I'll just go round robin. Whoever wants to answer. All the criticism in regards to LeBron James, and him cramping up in game one, and then him having the game that he had on game two. Let me ask y'all a question. What do you think about how the media is portraying all this in regards with LeBron James, and it's just being all about him?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it really, in reality, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the building was crazy hot. It's Texas. It's spring. The air conditioner's not working, so anyone could cramp up. But the image looked bad. Um, being carried out. Um, you know, it does make you look weak, even if it's a rational thing that you're cramped up to the point where you can't walk. But like, it's just that image. You don't look like the hero conqueror at that moment. But you saw that he bounced back the next game like it was nothing. What was it, 35-10?
Yeah, yeah.
So that people were going too far. See, that's why LeBron can't do this or that. You get your cramp, you get your cramp. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Ace, what do you think about it?
I have to agree. LeBron, when you think about it, he's the best basketball player in the world. At least that's what the media and pretty much everybody believes that he is. So being the best, you don't expect, like, Joe was saying, how you're almighty on the basketball court, but you're getting carried off because you have some cramps. When you look at Kobe fully rupturing his Achilles, managed to hit free throws, and then walked off on his own power to go to the bench. You have Jordan, they really say that's leg cramps, but in the same sense, you're looking at it as, I know when I have the flu, you can't barely breathe, you don't want to move, but he still managed to play a whole game, scored 30-something, whatever, and whatever, and still won a game. So even though LeBron, the outcome probably would have been different. Miami might have won if he stayed on the court, but you have to at least give off that impression that if you are the best, you can kind of play through all those sorts of injuries. So my thing would have been,
Oh, did we lose age?
I think we lost them.
stretch that injury. You lost me?
A little bit, but you go ahead.
Where did you leave me? What was the last thing I said?
In regards to the whole thing about LeBron and with the whole thing about the media and how he portrayed it in with game one.
Uh, Pretty much. I understand his cramps, but he should have tried to stretch it out and go for a fourth try. They could have used him down the stretch. He would have been a decoy.
But the other thing, and someone I think was on ESPN or something pointed it out. But the rest of the team has to do better than that. Like, he comes out the game. What did he miss? Like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And like it just fell apart. They became like a JV high school team. Someone has to at least be able. You know what? Without LeBron in the game, the rest of the team has to at least be able to maintain whatever lead that they have. You can't just like he stepped off the court and you just have like a 10-point swing the other way.
Yeah, yeah. Even with game two when they took off. Go ahead, Ace. Go ahead.
Even that just goes to show that Wade isn't that Wade when he won his first championship, and it also goes to show that
Yeah.
Chris Bosh ain't worth that $90-some-odd million contract that he was given, because at best he might have been the best player in Toronto back in the day, but he is not that player to sit there and carry a team either. At least not at that elite type of caliber type play.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, because I remember that Dwayne Wade that knocked my Pistons out of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like that guy, he doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I think what it is that with the Miami Heat, they relied solely on LeBron. Like, if you can imagine, if LeBron went down for like a couple of games tops, I'll be very interested to see how Miami would do without him at this particular stage, because they rely on him heavily for not just his offense but his defense as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
all right, but let me ask you. I'm gonna throw in just one more quick question in regards. Do you think that the media is playing too much on LeBron?
It's tough. Because he's so good that he really deserves all the attention that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
They probably, I think where the media sometimes goes wrong is that instead of just taking things as one-time incident, they blow it out of proportion like it means something. Like it's not like LeBron, like this cramp thing. It's not like he has a history of not showing up, of taking himself out of games and big moments like Scottie Pippen had when early in his career we get like migraine headaches and asked to get taken out the game. It was a one-time thing, so it's okay to report that over and over as long as you're talking about it being a one-time thing, as long as you're not trying to force us to believe that this is like a part of some bigger trend that's going to continue to happen.
That's true. Well, I mean, hopefully down the pipe. Go ahead, Adrian.
Oh no, I was going to say that the vibe with LeBron ever since he got to Miami is that they win games, they hit the clubs in Miami, they party all night. I mean, we've seen images of that, pictures and all that good stuff. So who's to say that even though it wasn't portrayed in the media this time around, that LeBron was out in the clubs prior to saying, it's the same San Antonio squad that we beat last year, though luckily. They probably could have took the game a little bit lighter. LeBron might have been drinking before the game because we know that alcohol tends to take a little bit out of you. So, I mean, we don't know the full story because in this scenario, we don't know what he might have done a day or two before the game. But you can see now that the media is portraying him for the past 2 days that he's been taking nothing but fluids and getting his body right and his mind right for game 2. So, I mean, who really knows?
Yeah. Yeah, and the outcome from even with last year's finals, the outcome with Miami and San Antonio could have went either way. It's not like haven't been any blowouts from these two teams. Right. So imagine like if with game 1 and game 2, if LeBron would have stayed in the game, it would have been closer than what it was on game 1. So and with game 2, they only won by I think 2 points. If I'm correct. So I don't think this is going to be. I think what it is just the media just tends to compact the issue to the point where since there's only these 2 teams left, they have to focus on whoever their star player is. But I feel as though that sometimes are just over. In my opinion, I feel as though sometimes it's overutilizing the use of talking about LeBron all the time. When there's other teams and other players involved. And I think that's one of the issues that I guess I have sometimes with the media is because of the fact that there are other players involved. And I'm not even going to go into that because that's another rant.
They take the easy way out and just focus on him because it's an easy story.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is
right.
Definitely true.
I mean, you have to look at it on if Parker didn't miss those 2 free throws and then Duncan didn't miss those 2 free throws. That was a 4-point swing right there.
Yeah.
We could easily be talking about San Antonio up 2-0 instead of it being tied 1-1 if they'd just hit. Those are 4 points left on the court. because Parker was hitting the ribs, and Duncan has just never ever really been a great free throw shooter. So
That's true.
Ball one of different ways. We could be talking, even though LeBron dropped 35, 10, and whatever, could still be down 0-2 right now.
That's true. Side note though, I think I'm only gonna say this, but I think it's funny. But I think Dwayne Wade should be suspended for at least half of half of game 3 for what he did with that. That flop was just ridiculous. Like that had to be the best acting I've seen for him to do it while the referee was running behind him. I thought
the flopping is out of control now.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
Hey man, I said it before and I said it again. 75% of these jokers couldn't play in the 90s. Just wouldn't happen. I heard an article. I agree with that. The other day, they had Dominique Wilkins on the radio when I was going out for lunch. Dominique, you averaged between 28 and 30 points a game in your career back in the late 80s, early 90s. He said, how do you think it would fare in today's game? He's like, do I really need to answer that question? He said, if I was averaging 30 points a game, I'm averaging between 40 and 50 now.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I just, if we're talking about LeBron being the king, he couldn't even hack it back then.
Yeah. Now he's a big boy, and for the right amount of money, I think he could adjust. That's the thing. It's about could they adjust. But if they brought the same mentality that they have now about how the slightest touch is the greatest crime against humanity ever, no way. And if you brought like my beloved Pistons from the late 80s to now, like they'd be suspended like the whole season.
That is true.
And the whole roster would be suspended.
Man, think about the Knicks back in the day.
Yeah.
David McDaniels, you weren't coming down the middle against them jokers.
I mean, how many points would Michael Jordan score a game under the way the NBA protects players now?
He might be in like 60 a game, easy.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. The way the teams was built back then, they was built to be a lot more tougher. It seems as though that it's being watered down the way things are right now.
Actually, Dominique Wilkins even said that back then, the players were bigger and taller and stronger than they are now.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because look now. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say, like, there's hardly any real back to the basket post players in the NBA anymore. Like that era of Dominique. Like, think of the centers that were there. You had Kareem, Olajuwon, Ewing, Smith, Artis Gilmore at the end of his career, Moses Malone. Yeah, like
David Robinson.
Right. And now, and maybe that's why the game is softer now. It's really a guard, a 1-to-3 position league now.
No, that is true. It is. I mean, look how it is constructed right now. You got small forwards playing power forwards. You have power forwards playing centers now. Basically, the utilization. Like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, even though Indiana is no longer, is out of the playoffs, Roy Hibbert would have been better situated for being back then where he is right now. Yep. And that's really what it is. You don't have one of those dominant centers. Like, even with Dwight Howard, you can't really utilize him the way that he needs to be utilized because of the simple fact that today's game is definitely constructed way differently than with their utilization of the centers. So.
Yep. You're right. Different game.
Yeah. So, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. I mean, I know that you guys got things to do, so I'm not really gonna hold you up. But we're gonna continue more discussions at a future date. So I would like to thank Joel and Adrian for stopping by and giving input. But we're gonna continue to do this. We're gonna talk about it next time I schedule another hangout. So to everybody, thanks for tuning in. You'll catch us on our links. I'll put the links up for everybody to see. And we'll talk to you guys again real soon. We'll talk about more sports. We got to talk about the NFL with everything that's going on in there as well. So, again, this is Al, host of Guys Talking Sports. I'd like to thank Joel and Adrian for popping up and giving their opinions.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
This has been an Al Productions.
I'll continue to send out links to have you guys back on. But thanks again for everybody tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. All right, bye.
Peace.
Bye.